Hey, Damon from Acceleron here. Today we're going to discuss why inbound international payments are so painful and what to do about it. First, let's talk about some vocabulary. SWIFT is an international network of financial institutions that allow for cross-border messaging. The messaging lets each bank in the chain know how to settle funds. Each institution has its own BIC code, or often called a SWIFT BIC code. This is generally required for all cross-border payments, both inbound and outbound, whether or not a SWIFT message is actually used in the process. So let's talk about the first problem, using someone else's SWIFT BIC. When your customer asks how to receive funds from France, you dutifully provide the payment instructions from your correspondent bank for that specific country. Usually, you'll provide your correspondent SWIFT BIC, but you may even get their correspondent SWIFT BIC. You see where this is going? From the beginning, your customer is asking the person sending the funds to send it to a different bank. When the funds land, if the originator did not fill everything out exactly right, the correspondent has the funds but may not know the ultimate institution or beneficiary, causing delays while they try and figure it out. The solution is to acquire a non-connected SWIFT BIC. This is a BIC code that denotes your financial institution. You'll not be able to send or receive SWIFT messages with this type of account, but your correspondent can tie it to theirs. That means when the originator bank in France types in your code, the settlement instructions for your correspondent bank will show up. When the correspondent receives the settlement and SWIFT message, they will immediately know the funds are going to your financial institution, thus speeding up the process. Next up, I bet you have to log into your correspondent to see the transaction, and often the data is insufficient to process it. Depending on how many banks were used between France and the correspondent, it could be that the relevant data has been pushed out. This is where the use of virtual accounts shine. Each customer of yours receives a virtual account number for the country or zone where the funds are being sent from. This number survives the trip through the process, so you'll always have an easy reference on who the funds are for and who sent them. Even if your correspondent has all the data, you may need to manually key it into your own payment system. This is terrible as it introduces errors and risk. Many correspondents have the ability to API connect or send files with the required data. If the technical lift is too much, this is something we could likely help with. Please reach out if you have any questions. In conclusion, inbound international payments are painful, but the pain can be reduced by requiring a non-connected SWIFT BIC for your institution, using virtual account numbers where applicable, and making sure that data flows into your payments and compliance systems accordingly. We can help with all three of those problems. If you have any questions or would like to learn more, please reach out. Thanks again.